worked together.
Almost missed the routine certitude of my assigned profession.
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized it as...
Visitors, huh? Just meandering about, free of any appointed minder? Not so sure I ought to be speaking with you. If you need someone to talk to hereabouts, I suggest you seek out Vigilant Hogarth. That tall, stately building back yonder is his domicile.
Hogarth? Milver Street reckons he's the key to converting this town. Let's bring him the good news of Auntie's choice, shall we?
Do hate to come off impolite. If you're so inclined, we can pick this up later, after you two confabulate. Word to the wise, despite what you might hear, we still consider ourselves part of the Protectorate. Anyone spots an outsider engaging in misdeeds might just open fire.
Or the base individualists within Auntie's...
How empty are the lives of Auntie's subjects that they need to rely on consumers to find meaning?
Well, it's infected. Meds to arrive soon, we'll have to start cutting.
Greetings. Stay today. It is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to Westport, once a shining testament to Protectorate excellence, now a picturesque example of the evils of corporatism. But where are my manners? We do not have much, but please let me offer you some victuals. Tut. I insist. Serving Unit 1. Something for the visitor at once?
Confirmative.
Perhaps you're wondering why I'd open my arms thusly for a stranger. Simple. As the guiding light for humankind, we always put our best foot forward, regardless of circumstance.
Near at our contentment.
I beg to differ. Those walls have stood for over a century and would easily have stood for another, were it not for Auntie's greed and envy, and explosives.
And the sovereign embodies and executes on it. Throughout history, human society...
Our society was built from the bedrock up, through the vision of our matriarch. Due to her genius, the structure of our society is perfect, planned down to the last subject. We all work as a unified whole for the betterment of all, unlike those corporate colonies, where it's every person for themselves.
Luxury the paradigm affords us. A perfect life of contentment and...
How dare you? The lower classes, as you call them, are the very heart of our society. There's naught to complain of. Why, we've even eradicated the drudgery of manual labor through our perfection of auto-mechanical technology. That brings me to a matter I'd like to discuss with you, actually. I believe something still can be done. This town can be saved, its people given a reprieve. Were we to acquire the one thing vital to our existence: automech parts. What?
Comestibles served.
We of the Protectorate pride ourselves on our mech programming. Among the vigilant, it is even considered something of a sport. We are not miracle workers, however. Without parts to work with, we've no hope of remaking our mechs to do tasks beyond their initial functions. We need repair mechs, domestic mechs, not combat ones. Serving Unit 1 here is about as much as can be accomplished without replacement parts.
A fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it...
We are of like minds. We lack not the skill to do so. Our wily chief mechanist can reprogram the mech, but not without parts. Unfortunately, we lack ready availability of said parts.
Produces glorious bounty for all. Naturally, sometimes challenges do arise. We all
Oh, you failed to hear the loudspeakers on the way in? The announcements were obliged to repeat incessantly. Well, allow me to paraphrase. Protectorate law finds us guilty of treason on account of letting Westport fall prey to Auntie's choice saboteurs.
Don't fret. The system is resilient. The system abides. But now...
These fine and decent folk don't deserve having their lives thrown away on account of my failures. if I can return the settlement to a reasonable facsimile of its previous glory, sufficiently functioning by employing mechs reprogrammed to repair and rebuild, the Arbiters might see fit to penalize only me, commute the others' sentences, allow them to maintain things around here in the spirit of continuity and such.
Look around. If the Protectorate wanted to do right by you, you wouldn't be starving and wallowing in this metal quagmire. You want to help your people? Go to Fairfield.
Fairfield? Why, they're the reason we're in this mess. You'll forgive me for questioning such timely offers of generosity and kindness. No thank you, not interested. I owe it to every single person here to try.
All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrination.
That's abundantly kind of you, though there must be something I can offer.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community.
Enough to lead and inspire those who work there, once at least. I was previously the ranking vigilant on this island. Why do you ask?
The paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order.
Difficult place to saunter into. Station's off limits to anyone without the highest security clearance. For anyone lacking reason to be there, it's assured suicide. In exchange for the automech parts we need, I can provide you means to get inside. Never dream of such a proposal in days of reason and quietude. Yet such is the here and now we find ourselves in.
Poor dears didn't have the firm benevolent hand.
Wonderful. My unavoidable march to the gallows feels lighter already. At least now my subjects will have a fleeting chance. The parts can be found at the Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center to the south. But do not, under any circumstances, tell those stationed there why you need them. To get inside, you will need an access pass from the Ministry of Accuracy. Since we have all been marked as traitors, I cannot create one for you here.
We have everything we need. Prudence dictates
Farewell now.
the moment to rightly appreciate it all and thank the sovereign.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate.
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one comes or goes to the Automech Repair Center without approval. What's your business here?
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking Protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose our heads over a simple misunderstanding. You're free to pass. Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him know you're inbound, so no one shoots on sight. Oh, and fair warning, watch out for xeranium gas. We sprung a leak. Nothing too bad. Aside from the headaches, nightmares, missing teeth, and headaches. One more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts. Donaldson runs a tight ship and has zero tolerance for lawbreakers.
Outsider?
All that matters is getting these automechs to the Vox relay station.
But Marshal, we must adhere to decontamination procedures.
What in the name of the architect? Oh, right. My guards told me to expect a new arrival, right before our chief mechanist decided to harangue me with the latest on our catastrophe.
Marshal, you're acting as though I'm not standing here auguring the impending doom of this facility.
Woodrow, normally I would be obliged, nay, happy, to receive your senseless jawing, but not today. Perhaps this outsider can assist where you've failed. I hope you've come to help, because a crisis is bearing down on us, and I've a dearth of reliable hands with which to manage it. You see, Woodrow, why at this rate, we'll have the facility up and running in little to no time.
That's what scares me, Marshal.
Like you, me and my consternated head technician are new arrivals, though we may not last long if we fail to repair the uranium leak. I wouldn't have put it in those terms, but I appreciate someone who speaks their mind. The Vox relay station needs our automechs. But until that leak is fixed, this facility is a target for the sport of Auntie's armaments. Delphinia Bryant is working on a prototype uranium shield. Whoever uses it will be less disposable and more useful to the Protectorate. What did I tell you, Woodrow? The situation's well in hand.
Marshal, those automechs have been corrupted with uranium. I can't even cogitate on what they're capable of if we lack the time or resources to approach this rationally. Should they go berserk, we may well be turning the very subject you intend to resupply into their victims. We'd be branded as traitors.
Then perhaps you had better explain to Brigadier Montelli why his defenses are grounded. And you can do so personally, in the comfort of his office.
Montelli? I rescind my objection. May the delicate workings of the paradigm point us toward a better way.
There's a good fellow. Cleave to your loyalty, and it will never steer you wrong.
Give me a sec. Almost done with this work list. Another sealant failure, amplifier requisition, and 2 more cases of uranium exposure. We're a mite bit busy these days. Hazel should get you sorted right quick, assuming she has the parts. She's right between the barracks and the main gate. Can't miss her. The Marshal is under a lot of pressure to deliver automechs to the Vox relay station, but I'm responsible for their quality control. If even a single automech steps out of line, it will be the end of me. Brigadier Montelli does not accept excuses, and he does not tolerate failure. The Marshal is a good man, but he values speed while I value accuracy. Neither of us is wrong, but in this case, we both can't be right.
Oh, unfamiliar clientele. I was just lamenting the lack of new faces around here since supplies stopped arriving. And then you walk in. Name's Hazel. I'm sort of the acting quartermaster around these parts. You need any supplies, talk to my friend the quartermech here. You'd think that a fully stocked auto-mechanical repair center would have automech parts, and 9 times out of 10 you'd be spot on. Trouble is, a bunch of supplies went missing recently, right around the time the quartermech completed a routine inventory. As a matter of fact, yes. Recently, when the crates by the wall got too high, it began stacking supplies on the catwalk above.
I'd gather that their automech programming is just as rigid as the rest of their society. Meaning, this automech didn't misplace anything.
Logic can be a funny thing, you understand. One misstep can have the most peculiar results. Doubtful. Zeranium affects their aggression in targeting subroutines. Basic instructions would still be functional. The quartermech is my responsibility. Claim whatever parts you require from the missing supplies, and we'll call the matter settled. Delphinia's lab would be the place to search. We use it for storage, and our records indicate the supplies were present and accounted for. Are you acquainted with Delphinia? She's a scientist on loan from the Vox Relay, helping with the Zeranium leak and all. Delphinia is not very nice. Or maybe she just doesn't like me personally. Anyway, She's very talented, and I'm glad she's helping out. And I'm never going within 10 feet of her again. Best of luck in your search. Let me know if I can be of assistance.
Ambient Zeranium levels are higher than average, but within acceptable ranges. State your business. This unit is incapable of misplacement. All transported goods are relocated in accordance with this unit's given directives.
Well, it was worth a shot.
May this unit be of further assistance? All wares should be perfectly visible already.
Sorry, it tends to take things too literally. Maybe try phrasing the request differently.
Lull detected. Conversational status uncomfortable.
Does that one compute, big guy?
Affirmative. Initiating commerce is one of this unit's default commands. Initiating commerce.
See you soon, I hope.
Oh yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of invention? Regular disruptions to one's train of thought. Now what is it you want? Now that you mention it, there was one particularly insistent little mech who kept trying to put all manner of bric-a-brac in here. After several firm remonstrations, I told it the interior of this building is off limits while I am working here. Didn't see that peculiar little scamp again after that. Quite busy, as I said, and less pleased for this unscheduled work suspension. Now, did you have some business here? Ah, our good Marshal sent you, did he? Well, unfortunately, the device is taking longer than expected. A number of factors. Zeranium is dangerous, and we wouldn't want a researcher falling victim to their subject of study. The scarcity of volunteers is also a problem. Everyone wants to fix the gas leak, but no one wants to step inside a hazardous vapor. Now tell me, are you familiar with Zeranium gas? I haven't time to prattle unnecessarily, no. But my current project is of utmost importance. An active discussion is sometimes known to lead to a breakthrough. I could speak at length about Zeranium's many captivating intrinsic qualities, but suffice it to say, in its gaseous state, it's rather deadly. So what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from Zeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other forms of harm. Quite splendidly, if I do say so myself. The principal function of the device is confirmed operational. I merely need to work out some minor implementation concerns. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also find myself in need of assistance regarding its key components. Good. Wonderful. As an added incentive, I'll allow you to keep one of the prototypes once the work is finished, so you be sure to give it your all. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray Zeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the iterative testing I've been performing. Merely activate the device once it's inside a Zeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense Zeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that environmental exposure has altered the gas here in any way, I'll want to work with local samples. Ideally, the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's of utmost importance that it work on the gas here, I'll be calibrating against that. Oh, so exhilarating to have a new subordinate. I look forward to thoroughly scrutinizing your work. Now, shoo-shoo! Off with you now! Gather those samples! Shoo!
Outer chassis sealant test number 14 is confirmed a failure. Zeranium exposure rate appears to be unaffected. Test model displayed standard overload-induced paralysis, then became atypically aggressive. Forced to terminate test model in self-defense. Apologies, I must concentrate on my work. Maybe one of the others can help you.
Commander, I think this stuff is eating my lungs from the inside.
Yes. Let's have a look at you. No signs of Zeranium exposure. Or anything else novel or interesting, apparently. Another humdrum workaday ailment, no doubt. Nothing requiring my vast expertise, surely. Normally, I'd say to ask the quartermaster, but he died a few weeks back. Perhaps he's been replaced since? I wouldn't know, as I've had my hands full since the attack. Failing that, I imagine you could ask the technicians here. One of them might know. Oh, gladly. I've rather dedicated my life to researching its unique form of matter. What would you like to know? Total avoidance is best, but try to get out of the Zeranium as quickly as you can if exposure becomes necessary. come to think of it, there may be some exciting new breakthroughs in the near future. Our visiting scientist next door is working on a device that shields the user from Zeranium's effects, though she was having a spot of trouble last I heard.
What brings you to this fine establishment?
Caught a piece of shrapnel during the attack. What about you?
Zeranium poisoning. Only a mild case, but the doctors are withholding treatment to study my symptoms.
Sovereign's mercy. How do you feel?
Downright privileged is how I feel. Sick with pride, nauseous with courage, and chronically fatigued with honor.
Warning. Agent. Irreparable damage to lungs imminent. Exit get gaseous. Immediately.
Yeah.
Ah, my little minion. I trust you've made progress in your tasks? What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that or you tolerate Zeranium poisoning like a champ. Good for you. Should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contamination, visit the medical center and they'll get you squared away. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on a very small scale. Still, progress is progress. What's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. Capital deduction! Where have you been all my career? You'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. You guessed correctly. Our chief mechanist was rather hostile to the idea. So you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. Dragoons are a mainstay of our military. The design has been in production for decades. I had a model of one when I was young. All children did. You must have seen the large automech patrolling the interior grounds. That is the Dragoon. I'm sure he's just being cautious. Should Auntie's choice attack us, we don't want to be caught defenseless. No doubt he also seeks to retain an unspoiled automech, since the others are by now riddled with Zeranium poisoning. Good. A flexible mindset should behoove you on this task. Perhaps the chief mechanist will prove more receptive to your request. Failing that, be prepared to exercise creativity if needed. One last thing. The Dragoon must not be harmed. Not only would the amplifier likely be damaged, but we'd both be summarily executed, assuming we survive the firefight that ensued. Well, off you go. Shoo.
Yes? She and I have been over this 100 times. Please understand, the original staff of this facility were rounded up and refreshed because they couldn't safeguard a protectorate asset. Why should I follow their example by reducing our sole working Dragoon to a pile of unpatriotic scrap? I can't. I won't. That's a fair point. It's not as if they've come back to finish the job. Perhaps they assume we're already beaten. All right, how's about we get the Dragoon situated over here, so I can extract its vital organ? One catalytic amplifier as agreed. I hate to lose another Dragoon, but desperate times call for desperate measures. Not a chance. Donaldson has done everything in his power to get this facility online. He can't blame me for doing the same. Be seeing you, stranger.
Well, any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplifier? Oh, superb! I'm almost tempted to ask how you managed it. But pressing on, just a moment to remove what I need and install it in the prototype. With this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Damn near everything, as long as it's charged. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the war. Don't thank me. Just doing my part for the sake of the paradigm, same as anyone.
I'm glad that spectacle didn't scare you off. Between the recent attacks and the gas leak, you find us on the razor's edge between reason and panic. Whether or not you're able to help us, I'm grateful to have an extra set of eyes on the problem. Zeranium is hardly my area of expertise, but it falls to me to find a solution, lest I follow my predecessors to their untimely fate. I knew Dr. Bryant would come through for us, that she'd prove her worth as surely as any subject of the Protectorate would. Seeing as you're the only one trained in the use of that gadget, what say you put it through its paces? Make your way inside the repair hangar and find the control terminal to purge the Zeranium. And be careful with that terminal. We don't want the situation getting any worse. What can I do for you this time? At last, the tide is shifting. Today, we fix our automechanicals. Tomorrow, we push the unprincipled interlopers of Auntie's choice into the sea. You've done us a great service, stranger, and I would see your efforts rewarded. Alas, we don't have much to offer since our supplies are so low. I hope these bits will suffice. We confiscated them from the corpses of the scouts who attempted to infiltrate this facility a few weeks back. It carries the invaders' taint, but it should spend just the same. Perhaps you're right. Accept this with my gratitude. Now I can show our chief mechanist that he was wrong, and a little Zeranium poisoning won't do those automechs any harm.
Outside.
The matriarch herself designed it.
Simply saying I'd rest easier if he'd been assigned to it. Yeah, originally. That generator though?
Outsider? Well, look who it is. What is it? Speak your mind. That is most excellent. Please, hand them over. Thank you. I know community service can be a foreign concept for those outside the Protectorate, so I hope this is ample reward for your time. I'll prepare a writ of conscription to allow you entry to the Vox Relay. While most would refuse my authorization, the sentry assigned to the gate once lived in Westport. Sentry second-class layman. Show the writ as proof I have conscripted you into my employ. Use it to press service on my behalf, and she will let you in. Once you're inside, there's someone else you should show it to. You do that and say what I tell you. It saved many lives.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill.
Look, let's save ourselves some arguing. You've already helped me. I will grant you the writ. You can ignore my request, fine, but you'll at least hear me out. The Vox Relay is, to my mind, a time bomb. Brigadier Montelli's lost his way. Now all manner of chaos is raging there. I've heard tell he's even resorted to extra-legal executions. Madness, I tell you. A brigadier doesn't act as judge, jury, and executioner. That's an arbiter's job. And even then, they're enforcing existing protectorate law.
Devised the paradigm, a meticulously designed.
Why, isn't it obvious? As vigilant, I was his commander, and without my guidance, he was lost. All manner of chaos seems to be the order of the day at the station. Executions done in the service of order are an unfortunate necessity. Done at the whim of an individual, well, that's just one more depravity Auntie's has wrought upon us.
Individualists within Auntie's choice, though don't.
Marshal Corbin, as with all my subjects, I have been there when he needed me. I trust we can call on him now to do his part. Seek him out at the Vox Relay, conscript him with the writ, and this is important. You must convince him to kill Montelli. Corbin will want to talk him down, to take him into custody, to message superiors outside the facility beforehand. We cannot allow any of that to happen. If Corbin becomes the highest-ranking officer alive, no one will be able to contradict his accounting of events. The Protectorate execute connivers and schemers. Corbin must appear forced to take down Montelli in the moment. It cannot feel like a plotted coup. Good, good. Here is the writ. I may not survive to see what occurs, but I trust you to follow your conscience. Farewell now. Promise you'll return here if you can, to check in on my people and see how they fare. Insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity. Nobody needs go anywhere, not when we can still save Westport. We of the Protectorate endure as one, regardless of any hardships we must face. It'd have to be catastrophically obvious this place was doomed, and incontrovertibly beyond my means to save it, before I'd even consider such a recourse. When I look outside, I see people who are hardy and resilient, who trust the paradigm, who understand prosperity will return with time and group effort. I have the aid of key pillars of our community, several persons of note and good character who stand with and by me, and our town still functions. Our automechs are still running, mostly. We have a generator to power them, fresh water, the reassuring voice of everyone's neighbor Prudence wafts from our loudspeakers. But I know you've got more to do than listen to me natter on about the state of Westport. The Vox Relay's your main concern now. Farewell now.
Well at night. Work isn't strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful. We have everything we need. Prudence dictates we take.
We're all in this.
Have time for a chat, Commander? This is a delicate situation. You reckon we help folk here get back on their feet? Or do what the minister asked?
She recognized it as the perfect ecosystem. The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent.
Well, if we help Westport, the Vigilant has promised to get us into the box. Folk here could rebuild their community. Maybe. But it's only delaying the inevitable, if you ask me. If we convince these folk to join up with Auntie's choice, they can start new lives away from the Protectorate guillotine. They'd be grateful once they see what we got on offer. Plus, the minister's deal was clear. Do this, and he'll tell you how to gain entrance to the Vox. So you'd still get what you're after. The whereabouts of DeVries, right?
Can unbalance even the most robust ecosystem, like those nettlesome raptidons, or the base individualists within Auntie's.
Come on, Commander. Westport's damn near underwater, and the Protectorate are claiming everyone they're in to be traitors. Barring some mass change of heart, it's a matter of time before these folk get struck down by their own. The Vigilant seems a decent enough sort, but he's just one man. You want to give these folk a real shot at living? Send them to Fairfield.
As ever, but prudence dictates we give it a little extra added.
You got it. Let's start conversating. The sooner we know how folk really feel about living here, the sooner we'll know who to butter up.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate seal for their assigned work? Report them for
Hello. Come here often. Goodbye. This unit
Prudence
enjoys
dictates
our
we
banter.
maintain sufficient zeal at all times.
You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. Don't suppose you have any medical supplies to spare, do you? That you might kindly consider donating? Oh, no thank you. Not looking for anything that does more harm than good. I've enough ailments to manage already. From what I've heard about Auntie's medicaments, might poison a patient or cause them to grow an extra head or something. Never know what they're testing out on you.
My extra parts aren't side effects. That's your implication. And anyhow, I should think some minor side effects would be preferable to dying.
Ah, you do look like you know what you're talking about. All right. On behalf of my patients and I, thank you. We're all grateful. Guess outsiders aren't all just base individualists like they say on the wireless. Barring this being some tricky sales strategy, that is. This is a good start, but I fear it won't last long. Wouldn't happen to know a reliable means to procure more, would you? They'd sell to us? Those medicaments you gave us before? No, never. You must think me easily hoodwinked. Our societies are sworn enemies. You almost make that sound reasonable, under a highly skewed, morally vacuous light. Not seeing a wealth of options here at present. I can watch my patients die, then face execution, or we can resettle elsewhere and remain alive. I lean toward the latter. The abandoned section of Westport ought to have some supplies. Should be enough medicaments down there to help our injured survive the trip to Fairfield. It's perilous, though. Well now, that should do nicely. Thank you. Hope those Crabbles didn't give you too much trouble. I recognize these patients require more care than I'm able to provide here. Seems like in Fairfield, I can get them the help they require. The one last additional thing we'll need is for Vigilant Hogarth to agree to it. It's less a concern about disloyalty, and more my respect for his abilities. He's a skilled leader, and we could sorely use his aid, from coordinating logistics to keeping up morale. I'll surely have my hands full with my patients. His presence on the journey would save lives. All right, be careful out there. Stranger?
Has the Sovereign said how many of those pills were each allowed? It must be at least a fistful more.
You've returned.
to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full
The
luxury
matriarch and sovereign chose Eden, the perfect
of
ecotope. Appeared right out of the aether, just as I imagine our proud sentinels do. Like, here I am, your innermost thoughts are known to me, and nobody once hears from you again. Caught me reciting passages from a beacon to the cosmos, illustrating my steadfast fidelity. All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the sovereign. That part always hits me directly. To quote my personal log, an essential passage, rightful and true. Charlton Weintrott.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill...
Why, that's wonderful. I'm actually quite relieved a fellow customer like yourself somehow saw through my carefully maintained act. Others in Westport fail to perceive my true nature. I am hardly one of the herd around here. A reference you'll no doubt recognize from those keen Auntie's Choice commercials. Why, they are certainly inspiring. There's this one character who just laughs at danger, says he hand makes his own luck. Is that not the grandest thing you ever heard? You and I are just like him. Get up and go-getters. Say, did Auntie's Choice send you here? Don't fret, I am exceedingly skilled at keeping secrets. If I understand the subtext, that means yes. Dearie me, you are the first secret agent I have ever met. At least in waking life. Now, do tell, what is the latest word from the field?
The system is resilient. The system abides.
Really? What was he like? Bold? Assertive? With a wildly obstreperous theatrical air?
Doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors.
Is that so? Do tell me more.
We give it a little extra.
An audacious proposal. Yet this place, despite its recent humidity, remains comfortable and familiar.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling.
With a full case, I might gorge upon such sweet goodness morning, noon, and night. All right, hand it over. Oh, but what would Vigilant Hogarth say? What would everyone say? I can scarcely imagine it. Abandoning my community only to satisfy my gastronomical urges and risk-taking attitude. No, I couldn't leave unless Hogarth ordered everyone to go. Righto. Well, you seem rather confident. Best of luck, I suppose. You are surely going to need it. Please inform me when, of course, you receive it.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies and executes on it.
I hear correctly that you brought us automech parts? Why, thank you kindly, outsider. No, friend. Don't suppose you checked in with Vigilant Hogarth yet, eh? Oh, glad to hear. Probably sprung an important task on you afterwards, I'd wager. I mentioned to the Vigilant how I'd reset my chef mech to prepare meals to my liking. Next thing you know, he puts me in charge of repairing all the mechs in Westport. I mean, sure. All the underlying logic's the same, if you mull it over. I've been trained to run them big algae processing units, which are a fair amount more complex. It's just... subjects are expected to mind their assigned area and particular forte. So I was a mite taken aback. But I'm happy to help the system abide any way I am able. I assume those are approved protectorate announcements, correct? With everyone's neighbor prudence and the like? Sorry. Of course they are. Loudspeaker control terminal is in the proclamation station a few structures over. One with the antenna. I suspect they go there. Not to indulge in idle talk, but things have been different around here of late. Not at all overwhelmed or terrified of dying, though, of course. The system abides.
Atmosphere and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network.
Even if I did ever fall prey to such treacherous whimsy, you think I'd be fool-headed enough to admit it to a stranger? Look like I've been kicked by an automech or something? I mean, void damn. Vigilant Hogarth's still here. No matter how bad it gets, keeps us going. Keeps us right. Folks like him prove the paradigm is aligned with the Architect's plan. Just gotta trust the rightful guidance of the Vigilance and the Sovereign. Think I care more about remuneration than helping my neighbor? Nah, I'd rather live in an honest-to-goodness community than be surrounded by them individualist backstabbers. Sure feel sorry for them. Maybe someday after we, well, utterly crush their forces and disprove their bent philosophy, we can show them all a right, better way to live. Why, things need to severely decline around here for me to even consider. God, shut my mouth. Could never leave our fine Vigilant in the lurch. Fairfield. You don't say. Huh. So it's only here with our, perfect society that it works our way. How, fortunate for us all to benefit from such judicious guidance. That's a right intriguing proposition. I do wonder what it's like to have a choice about things. If it weren't for Vigilant Hogarth, I do believe I'd scupper off to, well, you know where. Yeah. You convince him, I'm in. But I owe him enough I wouldn't abandon him for nothing.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the
Exciting news! The Vigilance sent that outsider to collect automech parts for us.
Welcome back.
Balance. Individualism ran rampant. Depletion of resources and
You have your orders. The Vox relay awaits. Do remember what I asked of you.
benevolent hand of the Sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy.
What utter nonsense. How can you say that? Now, when I have automech parts in hand. No, your timing is absurd. Your wit, witless. Do tend to differ. Seems to me we're persevering. Demonstrating a mixture of aplomb, grit, and tenacity even. Last I checked, our infrastructure is still plugging away, and our people are too.
We take a moment to rightly appreciate it all and thank the Sovereign.
But it's not everyone, is it? I'm sure it's not. The majority of my subjects are steadfastly loyal, resolute, right as rain.
From the lowliest subject to the most exalted Vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the
Things are fine. Everyone's fine. They deserve better. Huh. They do, don't they? I've tried to tell myself it's better to die a subject of the Great Protectorate than live a life driven by freedom, but you may be right. Regardless, now that we're all traitors, they really don't need my permission, but if they want it, they shall have it. My former subjects are free to live an empty life with Auntie's choice. I'll make an announcement. Order them to depart for Fairfield, but I will be staying.
Naturally, sometimes challenges do arise.
Should I? Haven't I failed them enough for one lifetime? No. I will stay here and loyally await the judgment I richly deserve.
Or the base individualists within Auntie's choice. Though don't fret, the system is resistant.
My former subjects jumped at the chance to abandon Westport. They don't need me.
We must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride.
I suppose my duty to my people remains, whether here or in Fairfield. All right. I'll go. Unsure how I'll endure such an empty existence. Perhaps if I offer my old subjects periodic advice, our sense of community may somehow, despite the wiles of commercialism, remain. All right then. Suppose it's time to make my announcement.
It's not just a good idea. It's the law.
What I wouldn't give for a big bowl of purpleberry crunch right now. Got something that needs doing, Commander? Sounds like your old pal DeVries was in deep with the Order. Now, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I don't reckon fanatical is part of their employee code of conduct. And as you've seen, that kind of loyalty can pose a real problem to everyone else. But we'll track her down before it comes to a head. Don't you worry.
Disdain our sense of...
Whether it's an orifice or a face, Auntie's choice makes a cream for it.
All these rifts got everyone riled up, including me.
Don't go into that cheap saloon if you got a liquor gumption. They got no tolerance.
Don't even think about disrupting the marketplace.
Hey there, go-getter.
You've lifted my spirits right out of their doldrums. Our new guests have just arrived. Here, a considerable reward for your considerable efforts. Had anyone asked, I would have bet a year's pay against your capturing the hearts and minds of the denizens of Westport, and it seems I would have been out a great deal of bits. I've two minds about the convertees. Anyone with eyes can see they need guidance, but a pernicious system is not easily abandoned. Have you any thoughts? Trust will take time to build, time and patience. But that is an investment I am ready to make. You've given me a great deal to think about. I am in your debt. I cannot overstate what a capital compatriot you've been, my friend. Now be off. I've many refugees to see to. Plan is such a strong word. Let's call it a hunch. Consider this your first lesson in propaganda. Find whatever your target desires most and use it towards your own ends. Speak with Vigilant Hogarth in the building beside the saloon. He was in charge around here before we arrived. I have no doubt he knows vital information to the Vox's functioning. Now, should you ever find yourself visiting the ACS Undisputed Claim, do come see me. I've no doubt that when we next meet, I'll have risen 6 ranks, at least. Farewell!